Today we are going to read Murli dated on 26th October 1975. We're going to read two Murlis. The first Murli title is Allowing the Snake, that is the vicious body, to finish the entire income. So in this Murli, Baba is checking the register, and then Baba see children with a different category, and some children hiding from Baba, some children putting themselves in trap, and then some children give excuses, and instead of accepting what their mistakes are, they kind of become a lawyer and just justify with the father. And in the second Murli, Baba is talking about the specialities of Maharati. So Maharathis are, they lack the consciousness of I. That's what Baba says. And they renounce everything. They would like to keep all the souls, other souls first, head of them. Then they keep themselves first, and they donate everything, all their time, virtues, powers, etc. So without much delay, let's get started. 26/10/1975. The title of the Murli is Allowing the Snake, that is, the vicious body, to finish the entire income. Bap Dada is seeing all the children as to whether they have all done the course since coming here. You have done the course, have you not? After the course, there was the revision course. After the revision course, the final course is the realization course. That is, whatever you have heard, whatever you have attained, whatever activities you saw of the Father, to what extent have you merged all of that within yourself, and to what extent have you wasted it? Are you those who just heard, or have you also become full? Have you become powerful, or have you just become those who sing the praise of Bapdada and others? Have you become embodiment of knowledge, embodiment of remembrance, complete embodiments of all the divine virtues, and embodiment of constant service? Or have you just become those who remember all these things? Knowledge is very high. Yoga is very elevated. It is essential to imbibe the divine virtues, and the duty of oneself, a Brahmin, is to do service. Do you just remember all of these things, or have you also become an embodiment of them? To realize yourself in this way is the last course. To realize yourself in this way is the last course. Just as you finish the old accounts at Deepavali and begin new accounts, and also check your register, so too all of you have to check your register from the beginning to the end. That is, you have to check how many marks have you claimed in each subject until today? According to the time, since your destination and your double aim can be seen clearly in front of you. The aim of the present confluence aged angelic form and the aim of the future deity form. Since your aim is clear, are the qualifications for your aim also are the qualifications for your aim just as clearly visible? Before bringing about world transformation, do you experience transformation in yourself? Have you checked yourself in this way? Bapdada checked every child's register. Bapdada also saw the result of those who wrote a story of their karma. What did Bapdada see? Many souls, due to fear or shame, didn't even bother to write. However, Bapdada, in the form of the incorporeal father and the corporeal father, clearly as the register of all the children from the beginning up to now. No one can erase this. There are three types of result in the register up to now. One is to hide. Second is to be trapped somewhere or the other. And the third is to make excuses due to carelessness. One is to hide, second is to be trapped somewhere, and the third is to make excuses due to carelessness. Children are very clever in making excuses. They tell many wonderful stories in order to hide themselves or their mistakes. If such stories from the beginning until now were to be collected together, huge scriptures like those of today would have been created. By trying to prove their mistake to be correct, instead of accepting it as a mistake, or in trying to prove something false to be the truth, many become like the black count lawyers of today. Instead of fighting with Maya, they are very clever in fighting such cases. However, they don't remember that justifying themselves at this time means that they are depriving themselves of many births of all the attainments of success from the Father. They don't remember that justifying themselves at this time means that they are depriving themselves for many births of all the attainments of success from the Father. Those who try to prove something definitely have the sanskars of stubbornness. Such souls cannot attain salvation. At present, the majority have failed the first lesson of having pure vision, that is, of having an attitude of brotherly vision. Even now, there are very few obedient children who obey this first order of Baba. Because of repeatedly disobeying this order, they continue to carry a burden on themselves. Very important line. Disobeying orders, they continue to carry a burden on themselves. The reason for this is that they don't know the importance of the main subject of purity. They don't have the knowledge of the loss caused by this. to be trapped in any bodily being through your thoughts or deeds. To touch the snake of this vicious body means to finish the income that you have accumulated until now. No matter how much experience of knowledge you have, or however much attainment you have experienced through remembrance, or however much service you may have done through your body, mind, or wealth, by touching the snake of this body, then just like the poison of a snake fills a person as soon as he is touched by it, so too this snake, that is the poison of being trapped by a body, finishes all income of that which you have accumulated all, until now. It makes a black mark on your register of the income you have already accumulated. And it is very difficult to remove it. Once the black mark is created, and it becomes very difficult to remove it. Just as the fire of yoga burns all the sins of the past, in the same way, the fire of indulging in vice burns all the charity performed in the past. Fire of yoga burns all the sins, and the fire of vice burns all the charity that we have accumulated in the past. Don't consider this to be something ordinary. This is something to be falling from the 5th floor. Even now, many children under the influence of the sanskars of carelessness don't even understand this aspect to be a severe mistake or sin. They speak of it in an ordinary way. I made this mistake 4 to 5 times. I will not do it again in the future. Even when speaking about it, they don't have any form of repentance, but it is as though they are simply relating ordinary news. Internally, they have this aim. These things will continue to happen anyway. The destination is very high. And so, how would I be able to do this? However, even today, Bap Dada is giving a warning to such sinful soul who also defame knowledge. Bap Dada is going to give a warning to such souls, such sinful souls. It is this. If you don't finish this mistake today by considering it to be a severe mistake, you will receive very serious punishment. Because of the burden of being constantly disobedient, you will not be able to reach an elevated stage. Instead of standing in the line of those who have attained something, you will be standing in the line of those who are repenting. There will be cries of victory for those who have attained something, whereas sights and sounds of distress will emerge from the eyes and lips of those who repent. The Brahmins who attain all attainments will see such souls as those who are in the line of those who defame the clan. So they are the ones, those who defame the clan. That's what Baba says. And the Brahmins will look at them in that eyes. The ugliness of the sins committed by them will be very clearly visible on their faces. This is why you have to consider this to be a very strong mistake. Papa is getting so serious here. Repent for your past mistakes from your heart now. Clear it with the Father and finish it and finish your burden by yourself. Punish yourself severely so that you are liberated from the punishment of the future. If even now you try to hide from the Father, or you move along while trying to justify yourself, then it means to compromise yourself now. That means to cry out in distress at the end and to cry out in distress in your mind now. What can I do? I can't experience any happiness. I don't have any success. I don't have the experience of all attainments, etc. etc. In this way, you will cry out now and at the end as well. You will cry and say that that was your fate. To compromise yourself at this time means to cry out in distress again and again. If you simply compromise yourself at this time, it means that you are burning your elevated fortune for many births. And it will be for many, all the kalpas too. Therefore, pay special attention to this particular aspect. Don't touch this poisonous snake even in your thoughts. To touch it in your thoughts means to make yourself unconscious. To touch it in your thoughts means to make yourself unconscious. So Baba especially saw carelessness in your register. Baba told you yesterday another result of the aspects in which you stop instead of going into the ascending states. Instead of a fast speed, you have a mediocre speed. This is the result of the majority of you. Therefore, now realize yourself. That is, finish the final realization course. Check yourself very carefully in every subject. To what extent have I put into practical form all the codes of conduct, all of the Father's orders and elevated directions? Check this as well and offer the final sacrifice into the great sacrificial fire of Madhuban for all time. Do you understand? Don't take any wrong advantage of the Father's form of love at the present time. Don't take any wrong advantage of the Father's form of love at the present time. Very important line. Otherwise, in front of the final form of the great death, you will have to repent 1,000-fold for each mistake. You will have to repent on 1,000-fold for each mistake. Acha? To those Brahmins and to those Brahmins and so deities who understand through signals, to those who have all rights to all attainments, to those who let the past be the past and who make every thought the present and the future elevated, to such light of the Brahmin clan, to the stars of hope and the fortunate souls who awaken their own fortune as well as the fortune of the world, Paap Dada's love, remembrance, and namaste. And from our side also, love, remembrance, and namaste to the most beloved Bhaktada. Now let's start the second Murli. A Maharati is a great donor and a bestower of blessings. That's a very short Murli. A Maharati is a great donor and a bestower of blessings. So here in this Murli, Baba is going to talk about the specialities of Maharati, what a Maharati should be and what would be his actions and specialities and so on. Just like Father Brahma, do the Maharathis also constantly experience themselves to be instruments the same as the Father? The speciality of the Maharathi is that they lack the consciousness of I. They would naturally have the nature of being an instrument and a server. Their nature is instrument and server. They always have the aware that they're instrument and a server. They don't have to create this nature. Their thoughts, words, and deeds are naturally according to their nature. Feelings of world benefit are clearly visible in every deed performed by the Maharathis. Feelings of world benefit are clearly visible in every deed performed by the Maharathis. The practical proof of this is that they would very firmly have the lesson of you first, just like Brahma Baba. You first, in order to keep other souls ahead of them. They would never say me first. They would always say you first. By saying you first, they become instruments to bring benefit to those souls. Such Maharathis who have such elevated feelings and an elevated nature are said to be the same as the Father. Maharathis are great donors who donate their own time, their facilities of comfort, their virtues, and the powers they have attained to other souls for their progress. Such a soul is called a great donor. The thoughts and words of such a great donor automatically become a blessing. The thoughts and words of such a great donor automatically become a blessing. Whatever thoughts or words such a soul has for others, these will become a blessing for other souls. Because to be a great donor means to be an embodiment of renunciation and tapasya. Great honor means to be an embodiment of renunciation and tapasya. This is why the practical fruit of their renunciation, tapasya, and great donation is that their every thought becomes a blessing. This is why the praise of a Maharati is sung as of being a great honor and a bestower of blessing. A gathering of such Maharati souls works like a light and might house. A gathering of such Maharati souls works like a light and might house. You are making such preparations, are you not? To prepare such a gathering means to have victory before there are cries of distress. The scene would also be a very wonderful scene. On the one hand, there will be great distress, and on the other hand, there will be victory. Acha, Om Shanti. Now let's take a minute of silence, and then we can reflect on these points at which you liked. Om Shanti. Om Shanti. Now, feel free to unmute and share points that touched your heart. All of you are Maharathis.
Shanti, good morning. Maharathis are those who remain away from the consciousness of I. Thank you.
Right. Thank you, Brother Vinod. Yeah, that's right. So they always put you first. So that's one of the speciality of Maharathi. That's what Baba says. They lack that consciousness of I. Yeah, go ahead, Om Pai.
Shanti, Vijit Bhaiji, very powerful dose Baba has given today in the form of both the Murlis. The first Murli emphasized on the first lesson of having pure vision, main subject of purity, that having an attitude of unlimited vision, that is brotherly vision, and that's what is actually the main, the foundation, the first lesson. And then Baba says that if the first lesson is not very clear, then the soul gets trapped in any bodily being through the thoughts or the deeds, and it touches knowingly or unknowingly, that touches the snake of the vicious body, and this results in finishing of the income that has been accumulated by the soul until then, that moment. So this is I think a very wake up call or something, kind of alarm call, to have constant checking. I would summarize this in the acronym CARE. Take care. C for checking, A for awareness, R for realization, and E become embodiment. Om Shanti.
Right. Yeah, very nice. Thanks for sharing that, Om Pai. Yeah, go ahead, Kirjaben.
Om Shanti.
Om Shanti.
The movie, the Murli really gave me goosebumps. When I was just opening the chat box, somebody said, "Oh my God, this Murli." So I was saying, "Oh, what is Baba going to give us a kind of, whenever we do any mistake?" I remember when we were young, we were reminded of the Garuda Purana. You'll be done this will happen, that will happen, and that kind of thing. But it is a fact which Baba puts it very, very, very nicely, and to say and to give the analogy, the way he analogizes it. Now, over here, even as I've already shared in the chat box, how nicely Baba is saying, what is the final course you're taking now? Realization. So those questions, before we go down to the deeper aspect of it, first we have to check. So all those things, whether we have done that, whether then we know this, what touching the snake won't even come near us. But the register is really what alarmed me. Even though Baba speaks about hiding, trapping, and then giving excuses. So, but when he explains it, he goes the reverse order. He speaks about excuses as black-coated lawyers and people who have no salvation. And it was very frightening when Baba is saying majority of you don't have pure vision and all. But what hit me was trapping, the snake, touching the snake. See, we all, whenever we see a snake, we see it, it opens its fangs and that poison something, like the thing comes out of it, and then if it's going to hit us, that's what we always see. So what do? We either leave the snake or we shiver there or we run out for help. That's what we generally do. So should we have that kind of feeling, what we have for a physical snake, when we have a impure vision for other snake. So what a kind of approach should I have with this? Baba is saying, don't touch the snake. Don't touch the snake. So I was just playing with that visual of touching the snake, touching the snake, touching the snake. It was something very nice, because even when you touch the snake, whoever is showing you the snake, what do? They catch the neck of the snake. Then I think it is easy for us to touch that snake because it cannot open its fangs. So even when you're touching a body or entering into body consciousness, if you just, that poison which is going to about to come out, if you're able to hold it in your hand, then I think the snake cannot be trapped. I think this trapping the snake and finishing my income really is giving me visuals. Om Shanti.
Right, yeah, rightly said. Yeah. So one may not know, whether they would think that I'm accumulating, going forward in this Brahmin life, and at the end, when they check the register, only then they will come to know they were not accumulating. Whatever they've accumulated has also gone for a toss because of touching the snake. So that is very powerful. Baba rightly said that, yoga burns all the sins, whereas this wise, right, burns all the accumulated attainments that we have attained by performing charity works and so on. So don't touch the snake. Anyone else would like to share?
Om Shanti.
Om Shanti, Sanjay Bhai. Yeah, go ahead.
Today's Murli very interesting. But what I think about that, what Baba talks about the snake, nobody is snake basically. When you are trapped by Maya, you are under control of Maya, you become a snake. And for that to get out of the trap, what that I feel from my several years of Brahmin life, that as I generally view, you see the word snake. The first letter tells you, my dear child, become soul conscious. The moment you become soul conscious, your attitude becomes different, your track becomes different, we become something different. Another word is snake, N, is nirakari, nirvikari, nirahankari. The total abrupt, there will be a total drastic change in you. And another word is A, adorned with divine virtues. The moment you're adorned with divine virtues, your snakeship will be over. And another letter is K, is knowledgeful. If you're knowledgeful, again, the snakes will be over. And the last letter, and the most important letter, E, ensure that you're doing all the things, all the activities according to Srimad. And when we are doing all the activities according to Srimad, the E also tells that you will be excel. You will be free from all the anxieties. You will free from the snakeship. Om Shanti.
Right. Yeah. Thank you for sharing that.
Bijit Bhai, can we really go again to that? Even though I just spoke about touching the snake, if you see the deeper meaning, like when I see another human person in front of me, my consciousness of what? Because really, I never, the snake may be like that. See, we see snake in Snake and Ladder, we see snake, Vishnu sitting on the snake conquering and all, but it's really very vicious. Once somebody gets stung by it, you see the poison goes to the whole body, the body turns ugly, and somebody has to come to suck out that poison. And I'm talking about the physical. But here, what Baba is meaning about, how really, there are people who really, when you go to the course, they say, sometimes we do not get this feeling of pure vision on people. Sometimes when we go, we just say, wow, what lovely body. Wow, so nice to look at. That's the feeling we first get. So they do not know that that is how the snake is trying to expose itself. So that pure vision which we had, as somebody rightly shared in the beginning, the first lesson, it's okay for us. We have the knowledge. But when you go out, we really hear about these people. Why that vision of that snake, or how really to get that snake in my hand and put it as a garland on my neck.
Om Shanti. May I just share one reflection?
Yeah, go ahead. Yeah.
It is said that beauty lies in the eyes of the beholder. So here the significance is of the stage at which the soul is at this present moment. And once the stage is elevated in the remembrance of the one Almighty Father, Supreme Father, then automatically you will see the virtues in others, that reality in others, that it's he or she is a soul, and that pure vision automatically will come, because the intellect is staying at the elevated stage, because the soul is in the elevated state. Elevated state is nothing but the awareness that who am I and how elevated I am. So automatically, even though the drishti goes on the body, but then in a moment you say this that's a unique part, and who's playing that part? That's the soul. The moment consciousness shifts from body to soul consciousness, then that you can see the real, that you can also assess the vibrations of that soul, and you see the real beauty. In original form, it's a very pure soul, and this vibration goes to that soul. So it's a process. Again, I'm coming to that. That checking, being aware and realize, and then becoming an embodiment of pure soul. So that's the thing. It's about the stage. Baba is, the entire Murli is on the stage. Why Baba expressed about the snake? The stage. If stage is low, then automatically you will see snake and you will get poisoned by the snake. The stage will get low, even lower. So checking of where stage I have, which stage I am sitting on, what is my foundation, where I am sitting. If the foundation is shaking, then I will get definitely snake will bite me. Om Shanti.
Right. And Baba also says if you realize that you have been touched by the snake, then Baba says you severely punish yourself so that you will be liberated from the future punishment. So that is also something.
Yes, yes. And if the stage is very elevated and very powerful, then you will be like Vishnu. You will make the poisonous snakes as your garlands, means they will be subservient to you instead of vice versa. Your stage being subservient to the bodily things, bodily matter, bodily attainments. These bodily things, bodily attainments, and bodily beings will be subservient to you. They will become sevadhari for you. For you means in the larger or larger aim of serving Baba. So the stage is everything what that matters for the spiritual progress. Om Shanti.
Yeah, right. Very nice. And in the second Murli, Baba said the specialities of all of you, Maharathis. So it's very straightforward. So we know that Brahma Baba was a real Maharathi who used to put the children first, everywhere you first, children, my children first, my children first. So here also the Maharathi, they have no, they don't have the consciousness of I. They always have that consciousness of you first. And Baba rightly said their natural nature is, their thoughts, words, everything, deeds, is all instruments, and they have that constant feeling they are the instruments and they are the server, and their feelings, right, that they have that beautiful pure feelings that They are the world benefactors. Baba says that's clearly visible on their, visible on their actions that they perform. So that also wonderful. Such a small Murli, though it's very nice.
Yeah, brother, that was such a cute Murli. Just two things Baba said. Maharati is equal to donor, bestower. And what a beautiful vision he gave us of Maharati, lighthouse, lighthouse. So after really giving us a picture of that vicious snake, this will happen, that will happen. I think the second Murli was a real thing for us to really say, yes, I like the thing, how nicely, such a cutely he says, just two things. Maharati is a donor. Maharati is a bestower. Maharati says, pehle aap, pehle aap.
Right. So in the first Murli, Baba gave a heavy dose, so Baba wanted to give a small sweet in the second Murli to make your mouth sweet.
Yes, just imagine this visual that where every thought is a blessing. Every thought is a blessing. See the kind of stage from where by being set on that stage, your every thought will be a blessing. That's the Maharath. That is a elevated throne where that every thought which is produced or manufactured by the created by the soul becomes a blessing. It will be natural. No effort will be required there. Automatically, it will happen swataha, natural state.
Naturally.
That's a very beautiful state. I think we can churn a little on this and then.
Right. Maharadi, like you rightly said, Maharadi, it's nothing but the chariot, and Maha means who performs elevated action, right? So being in the chariot, the charioteer, who's the soul, is performing elevated action. They are the real Maharadis. Every action is so elevated, not for the self, but for others.
And Bhaiji, the chariot has got wheels. If you see physically, chariot, if you just see the visual, chariot has got the four or five horses. Then there is a lagam. What is that called? That rope.
String, right?
Yeah.
String, yeah.
Yeah, and string, and then you have the wheels. These
Right.
four, I think, two wheels. Yeah, two wheels, and there will be a seat for the driver and the seat for the passenger, right? And just see spiritually, for a Maharath, all this will be alokik. All these wheels will be alokik. The horses will be alokik. They are transformed. Horses, mind will be transformed into unlimited vision. The intellect, that string intellect, will be unlimited vision. Horses will be like with divine virtues, and there will be total control. And God Himself is driving that chariot for a Maharati. It's a natural. The passenger, the soul, doesn't need to put any effort. It is naturally every thought, every means, wherever the rath progresses, it will progress always in the right direction. The thought, the arrow of the thought goes in the form of a blessing to everyone automatically.
Right. Yeah, very nice. Yeah, right. So good. So I'll read. Is there anyone else who would like to share, or have not shared yet, would like to share some points? Radhamani sister says, majority failed in division of brotherlyhood. Touching the snake means make black mark in the register. Finish the final realization course, check out our code of conduct. Irjaben says, can't real beauty be appreciated. I should see that my consciousness does not shift to observing the soul. What is my stage? Maharati means embodiment of renunciation, and Tapasya, Radhamani sister says again. Great honor, donate their own time, their facilities of comfort, their virtues, and yeah, true. And the power they have attained to other souls. So they attain something and then share it with others. And Kirchapen again says, snake poison, traps, spit venom. And Maharati, thoughts always blessing, donates. Wish you Kalyankari. Okay, wonderful scene, right? And now with the interest of time, we'll move on to meditation. Yeah, I think we have an announcement for the upcoming class on Sunday. So I'll just share my screen so that you can see the flyer. So there's going to be a special class with the Murli class, Sudarshan Sundar from USA, senior Rajyoga teacher. It's going to be on Sunday, 3rd of September, same time. Okay.
Just to add on to this, brother, the topic is chat GPT to chat God. And to have an experiential session, brother is going to be taking a sample Murli to be a part of this session. And that's going to be Murli dated 27th of October, 1975, which we're going to be reading tomorrow. So
Okay.
let's take note of that as well.
Okay, right. Okay, thank you, Rakiben, for covering that. Yeah. So with that, we'll move on to meditation. So let's sit in silence and reflect on the points that which Baba told us today. I mean, we all are Maharati, so we can create thoughts that I am a Maharati and I do have all the qualities, all the specialities that which Baba said today. So let's reflect on those with Baba. Om Shanti. Om Shanti. Over to you, Rakiben.
Om Shanti. Thank you, Baba. Thank you, Bijit Bhai. Thank you, Divine Family. And with this powerful dose that Baba has given us today, let's reflect on, while we are students, how much is the gap there or being an embodiment of the knowledge, embodiment of what Baba has been teaching to us. Have a wonderful day, and we shall meet tomorrow morning at 5 a.m.